There's been the odd wolf that have gone over some of those there Arctic wolves have gone 14-inch skulls, but our timber wolves and that, some of the real big ones, they're 12 inches wide. 15 inches deep, so they can be 15 inches from the top to the bottom. They have excellent senses. Their eyesight is one of the big things, but their smelling is far more. You want to if you want to locate wolves on your trap line and know if they're within 7 or 8 miles, you can. That's about how far you can hear them. Get a siren, a small siren, and let that siren rip, and you'll if those wolves are within 6, 7 miles, you'll know they'll answer you. Talking about some of them going into a snaring, backing up, a lot of people don't realize that they've got long whiskers like a cat. And so sometimes if their head doesn't go right dead center into that snare, the whisker will touch, and they're like a cat. They'll back up lots of times if their whiskers touch something, and they'll go around it. Intelligent, they're very intelligent. You'll see lots of times places where wolves will sit down and you'll see them walk around in a circle and they're looking somewhere. They're trying to figure something out. They might be on a hill, and there's been times when I know on this one hill on my trap line up Bob's Creek, wolves like to lay on there. They can see you coming down the valley for like 5, 6 kilometers. They like to lay on the top of that hill and sun themselves. So I learned that in different packs. So lots of times I'll go up there, and without anything, I'll set a couple of traps up there. And they'll go up there and they'll sit up there, and you'll see where they'll walk around and they'll play on that hill, and they'll sit and they'll look. And I've seen them. I've done the same thing. I've gone up there and I've sat on the top of that hill with my quad, and I've watched them coming down the valley, and I'll start calling them. And they'll answer me, and they'll get to within usually 200 or 300 yards, but they won't come in the clear. They're off to the side, right down in the creek bottom where I can't see them. There's a turn in the creek, and the buggers will come up there every time. And maybe I'm not making a perfect call, I don't know. But I honestly believe they're like elk or anything else you call. People, our voices aren't all the same. Elk don't all bugle the same, and wolves don't. But they do have they are very vocal in different sounds that they make. I stayed in my wall tent for years. I now have a cabin on my trap line. After 50 years, I got a cabin on my trap line, which is way better than the wall tents. But I've had them come to within 15 feet of my wall tent, and I've heard them in the middle of the night. And I got up in the morning and seen their tracks, and they all come together and they split off, and all I've heard is a few gurgling sounds from, I'm assuming it's alpha female. So that goes with their intelligence. They can adapt. They're not all the same, and you see that wolves are adapting more and more. It wouldn't surprise me within the next 5 or 6 years if you actually seen wolves in towns and cities like every other predator. Because there's getting to be more people out there, more hobby farms and stuff out there, and so they're getting a little bit more educated to people. So once they start using your trails, let them use your trails, and lots of times just off of those trails is a good place to catch them. Tie in your trails with their trails, and never rely on a single or a fixed set of tricks to catch them. That's one thing my partner hasn't quite learned yet. He's got a lot of sets that are exactly the same in the same area for like 2 miles. He's got the exact same set, one right after the other. and I keep trying to tell them to mix it up. But so when you do that, when they're traveling through, watch what they're doing, how they're adapting, how are they changing, and that'll make a huge difference on your success. Don't get hung up on one piece of equipment. I put that in there, and constantly educate yourself and improve your methods. I've been trapping for 50 years, and somebody that hasn't trapped can do something and teach me something. My wife, I used to look like a druggie when I was a paramedic, because I used to have students, and instead of starting an IV in a rubber arm, before I would sign them off on the starting an IV, they had to start 4 IVs on me and not miss one in 4 IVs before I'd sign them off. And so it's the same thing with equipment. I've had students that have showed me something, and I thought, I've been a paramedic for 16 years. Why didn't I think of that? Right? The student taught me something. So we can all learn from each other. Hearing. That's the second most developed sense. They can fold their ears back against their heads, move them side to side, forward, independent from one another, so they can have one ear listening this way and one ear listening behind them. Their limits sound is quite a bit different. Human upper limit sound is around 20 kilohertz, whereas the wolf's is 80 kilohertz. That's why if I had a little small siren going 7-8 miles away, I wouldn't hear that at all, but that's nothing for a wolf to hear that. Peripheral vision, eyesight. So like I was telling you, they can see to the sides a lot better than we can. And so when you're making your snares, that's the key thing about having your snares so that the loop is big enough and that it's not a shiny brand new snare. I went into a bait station one time that I had made for wolves behind Black Mountain because they had been traveling there. And it was 11 o'clock at night, and I got a headlamp, and I see these real shiny, what the heck, there's a shiny, what the heck? And at that time, we were only allowed to use 1/8 inch cable. We couldn't use the smaller cable. Smaller cable kills quicker, a lot quicker, right? In the war, they used to use piano wire, and it would cut somebody's head almost completely right off with a piece of piano wire. So it took us a long time to get the government to look at that. And so I seen this shiny snare, and I'm like 25 feet from it already, and I seen it. And I'm, what's going on? What's going around? I started looking around. Here I found 13 snares and 2 dead cougars in snares. So I went and I got a hold of Fish and Wildlife and brought them out there. Guess who had put the snares out there? I can't see how they'd never seen my tracks going in there. And there's ravens flying around a dead moose. Well, it was a roadkill moose that I had put in there.
Fish and Wildlife were in there?
Yeah, they put all these brand new, fancy, shiny new snares in there, and ended up catching cougars with them. Over 1 million receptors. Can you imagine that? So that's one of his greatest assets. That's why they can locate with their nose like you wouldn't believe, eh? And that's why less is more when it comes to scent and stuff. They can tell where another pack of wolf is and has been, his mood, his health, etc., and by their smell. So, just to iterate on that, my wife passed away 8 years ago from cancer. That year there was a pack of wolves on my trap line. There was 8 in that pack, and you think I could catch a wolf that year? Doing the same things, try different things, I could not catch a wolf that year. That my wife passed away. The next year, I took the whole pack of wolves out in a matter of 3 weeks. They came through once, I got most of them. The second time around, I got the rest of them. Now, what smell or what was I putting down that those wolves knew to stay away, that something was bothering me, right? And I don't understand that because I was married for 47 years and she wasn't telling me where to go and what to do. Right?
She's a rare woman.
Yeah.
Could it have something to do with the radiation from the cancer treatment?
I don't know what it was, yeah. There was something there, but they knew, and for the life of me, I wasn't doing anything different for the first while. And when I missed them the first couple of times they went through, I thought, well, I got to do something different. And I don't understand why I'm not picking anything up, right?
Maybe you didn't read your instruction book good enough that year.
Could be, yeah. My trapping regulations. Yeah.
Did you like this video? If you did, I think you're gonna like this one right over here. So check it out. And I appreciate your subscribing if you haven't done so already. Remember to do that while you're watching this next video. Click like, it all helps us out for this channel. Catch you next time.